You will make a fine sacrifice. Prepare your soul for death!
It's been a huge challenge to take the legacy of some of the best melee combat in VR and try to push it to the absolute next level.
We wanted to be more intuitive. It's not merely about you just hacking through it. It's the player being able to solve a combat puzzle and use their abilities to synergize really brutal and gratifying outcomes.
If you look back at The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, you fight a lot of walkers. Walkers can't really fight back. In Behemoth, we've flipped that completely. You come up against one marauder, it's life or death. We wanted you to go toe-to-toe with enemies that had the same skill set that you have. All of those systems had to be built up.
First, we wanted combat to be grounded and weighty. We didn't want the player to feel like they were holding a foam sword and swinging it around. When you hold a sword in our game, it has weight, it has heft. We do that primarily through haptics. So as you are blocking an attack, as you are performing attacks, you'll get the haptic feedback in your controllers. Also, we didn't want enemies to essentially line up and wait to be killed by the player. They will reposition around you, they will throw daggers, they will shoot arrows, and oftentimes they'll try to flank.
Adding more skill to VR combat involved creating enemy AI and enough combat animations to respond to all of the things that the player can do. You really have to watch and learn and think before you go in for that strike.
There are 3 factions, and within each of those factions, we have 5 unit types. We didn't want every faction just be a copy-paste of one another and just be a different skin. The player is always getting feedback from their controller, the character that they're interacting with, and then the audio feedback.
Some of the important sounds in a combat encounter that you really want to hear when you're playing in VR is like all of the VO barks of the enemies.
This place will be your tomb!
Your weapons clanging against each other when you're like blocking versus when you're parrying. What it sounds like when an enemy knocks a bow from a distance. You want to hear all that different like variety in sound so that you know what's going on around you. All of those different material surface hits need to be accounted for, and we needed to like create like a large variety of assets to support that. In the engine, we have real-time parameter controls, which will dynamically drive those sounds depending on how hard the player is striking a surface. It really makes each encounter in the game feel unique and special.
One of the things we want to do is ensure we hit that mental model of what the player expects sword combat to be. So severing was chief amongst that.
When you sever a person's arm, we want to like chop it right at the spot where your blade made contact. We want to allow you to dismember your enemies in any way that occurs to you.
The visceral nature of that action, it never gets old. Every time it puts a smile on my face, however psychotic that sounds.
What makes our combat system unique and different and next level is experimentation and creativity are core tenets to the combat experience.
I want to see someone do a fists-only run. I believe there's someone out there. There is some gifted VR warrior out there that's going to make my dream of seeing a fists-only run come true.